This is the Iron Mario Challenge, a brutal addition to the Super Mario 64 randomizer, and after a long 30 hours of grinding this, I can finally say I have successfully overcome this obstacle of a challenge. And not just that, I became the first person to ever complete this challenge in under an hour. But first of all, if you somehow didn't hear about the Iron Mario Challenge yet, here are the rules. We play the SM64 randomizer, but on the hardest settings, making stars and coins spawn in really peculiar locations sometimes. Then, if we take any sort of damage, the run will be over immediately. This also includes touching the toxic gas in Hazy Maze Cave or the freezing water in Snowman's Land for too long. The only real exception here is swimming regularly underwater, since it would be impossible otherwise. Therefore, the only way to exit the stage again is by collecting a star or a key, so no pause exiting. Additionally, we also are not able to use any of the cap switches or the Koopa shell in any of the levels, unless we spawn into a switch palace, but then the cap also is limited. And lastly, every main course got an extra exclamation mark box containing a green demon, which is an evil one-up mushroom trying to catch you, resulting in instant death. And I know it's purple, but anyway, the goal of course is to collect 70 stars and defeat Bowser. So before we do that though, please make sure to like the video and subscribe. Seriously, this challenge took a lot of effort to do, and it simply would mean the world to me if you click those buttons. Okay, now let's get started with the attempt, which made it to the end. The first stage I got for this clear was Tick-Tock Clock. Overall, this level is pretty simple. You early on want to get to the top of the level to check for stars, and clean the level from top to the bottom, so you don't need to reclimb the level over and over again. Well, so you also need some fortunate luck here with the Mario spawns, in order to go relatively fast. Which mostly worked out here for me, luckily. The next level I got was Swamp's Fortress, and this is easily the best main stage for Iron Mario, because it isn't too big and got a lot of flat surfaces, making it easy to tell where everything is. Therefore, I collected all 7 stars here. So yeah, if you haven't noticed it yet, on the right side of the screen I provide you some extra infos, such as the order of the levels and how many stars I'm getting from each one. Plus my controller's input display and the timer of how long this attempt has been going for. So yeah, enjoy these extra details. Anyway, after having an interesting Womp King battle, seriously, I could have died to that. Whatever. We got Vanish Cap next. And the only path to get out here is to collect the star for the 8 red coins, since dying is no option for Iron Mario. And I have to say, this Vanish Cap was brutal. I had to go back and forth for those reds. It wasn't fun. But hey, we'll live. And Bowser in the Dark World was next. Depending on where you spawn, it can be really worth going for those red coins, as they really aren't that bad to get. But I spawned somewhat next to the Bowser pipe, and therefore decided against it, and instead quickly beat up Bowser for the first key. Then I ran into the secret aquarium, and you can't die here. There is literally no way of dying unless you drown, but there are so many coins and red coins, you really have more than enough time to collect all of them. If you drown here, you have to be really bad. Snowman's Land is next, and I want to go somewhat fast, right? So I need to break all of the boxes without hesitation. Luckily there was no green demon and I was rewarded the star before I found the green demon. Otherwise, this could have ended quite badly. I mean, it's still somewhat early into the run, so I definitely took more risks than I will do like later on for sure. Also, I feel like this stage is quite easy as well. You can run into snowmen though, so a little bit careful, but outside of that, it should be doable. And you get a lot of open and easy free stars. That's something I would say, but this star, wow, that was painful. So I had to back it up later on and jump down from the top to get the star. Dude, that was something. Bob-omb Battlefield. Oh boy. This level is terrifying, mostly because of the water bombs. because they can easily snipe you, and not just if you are impatient, also if you spawn into a level and literally can't do anything about it. And this also almost happened right here. Note though, this was played on an older version, and meanwhile they added invincibility frames, so you can't be spawn trapped too often anymore. Yeah, that was an issue, and specifically for Bob-omb's Battlefield. Other than that, I went with one extra star here being the secrets, as I spotted most of them right away, but the last one, yep, the classic. Oh, and the box star was super close, like holy. And this trend carried over to the literal next star, which I missed in Wet Dry World, almost ending up in death again. Wow. Outside of that, we have the second and last full 7-star clear here, because all of the stars are usually really straightforward to get. Only scary part is there are 2 box stars, but since I found the green demon right away, I didn't really have to fear anything. Only part which slows this down a little bit is having to swim to the town area twice, but getting the stars caused no troubles, so it's definitely worth it. Wing cap is next, and this sounds and looks more nerve-wracking than it actually is. Honestly, if you manage your flying safely, there is nothing which will stop you. So I carefully watched out for those threats, even missed one or two, but as long as you get the highest ones, it's really doable. Then I got Dire Dogs, and this got to be the most boring stage. At least that's how I feel when I encounter this level. Mainly because of all the swimming, but it's an easy and fast one, so we get a majority of stars. Usually that's 5, but since I saw a lot of reds right away, I decided to get an extra 6 one, which worked out just fine this time. Funny enough, Dire Dogs was located in the right location, and therefore opened the next stage for me, which is, you guessed it, the other big water level, Jolly Roger Bay. And remember when I said spawn traps are an issue in Bob-omb's Battlefield? Well, maybe I wasn't completely honest, because, oh lord, these pillars in the cave here were the worst! And this also is why I decided to get just 2 stars and dip out, since this was a good pace, and I also got some extra stars in Wet Dry World, Bob-omb Battlefield and Dire Dogs. Plus, the stars here aren't too fast either. Before heading for the next level right away, I got the first of 2 mid stars, and then conquered Koopa Mountain. And this level was a mix of emotions for sure. First, I got the slide star, which I guess was fine. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible, so I take those. Then, got a lucky spawn right next to the open star. That's awesome. Then, got another acceptable spawn for the snowman. And I definitely decided here I won't go for the baby penguin at all. Like, I found not a single baby, and I won't like to take the gamble for bringing back the wrong baby. So for the final 4th star, I get the worst spawn possible. Really. You don't want to spawn in the wall kick area. It takes forever to get back. But this isn't the worst part yet. I don't know how and why, but during the penguin race, this somehow happened. I really thought I'm dead, but magically Mario just didn't want to give up here. I was alive, still even beating the penguin. Like, what? How? I didn't deserve this at all, whatsoever. Lethal Lava Land is coming up next, where I needed to be more careful again, especially with that penguin race. Either way, a lot of things can go wrong here. But I kept it together, and there isn't anything to say here, other than I obtained 4 stars, got no terrible spawns, and survived this lethal level, I guess. Now Toto Mountain, and this stage is pretty similar to TikTok Clock. We only have open stars here, almost at least. Only exception is the Monkey Cage star, which therefore I'm going to do first, so I can check out my surroundings in the process, locating the other stars. Which I'm also doing while the monkey gets ready to open that cage for us. And yep, similar to TikTok Clock, we don't like to see too many stars at the top of the mountain, since climbing comes with more risks and generally takes longer than just jumping down. But hey, I made it work out regardless, and at least got semi-good Mario spawns. Oh, and the biggest threat in this level are easily the Monty Moles. It's so easy to get sniped by them. But not today. After grabbing the second MIP star, which I did really awkwardly to be honest, I make my way over to the last check of the basement, being the Vanish Cap level entry. Usually I try to dodge this entrance since getting there takes a while, but you have to clear all Bowser levels to proceed to the next area. So I had no other choice than going there since Bowser in the Fire Sea was the only level left before I can go upstairs. Best case scenario would have been if this entry was a cap level or something that is really slow. Definitely also not a great level such as Wumps. But there's no way of telling, so let's stop yapping and focus on the important things instead. Which is Fire Sea. I again got a similar spawn like in Dark World, which is really close to the Bowser fight, so I don't bother gathering red coins anyway, which especially here is really risky, so I don't recommend going for them at all, most of the time at least, and instead obtain the second key real quick to make our way upstairs. With 54 stars, there are just 16 stars left that are required, but the first check wasn't too thrilling, being Wing Mario over the rainbow. Not only is this a relative long star, I also didn't perform here too well, so I'll save you from watching this mess and move on to Hazy Maze Cave, which also didn't went any smoother really. I guess I started shaking a bit, so there were lots of stupid mistakes and close calls, which ended up in death almost multiple times. No, I'm not just getting 2 stars here, if you're wondering by the way. Special about Hazy Maze Cave is the second entry to the Metal Cap, which I decided to do after getting 2 stars, which obviously is not Metal Cap this time, and instead Peach's Secret Slide. Well, luck was on my side again at least, having the box star being in the spawn area, and then I got a mediocre slide time I guess. Definitely not the best, but whatever, we take those. Now we get the remaining stars in HMC, being luckily one in the Dory area to get out there quickly again. Then I was really patient around the toxic gas, because you die there super duper quickly, so I took it slow and steady. And lastly got the worst spawn imaginable and had to work my way over back to the boulder room, and I struggled. Yes, I did struggle really badly, and I was so scared. Seriously, barely anything worked out properly here in HMC. It was a total disaster. So let's jump into Metal Cap next, to cool down again. Get it? Because there's water? Okay, that's cringe, I should stop, oh my gosh. Okay, special about Metal Cap is, it can be over quickly if you're not careful, since red coins can spawn next to the waterfall, which only can be obtained consistently with the Metal Cap. So I checked there early, so I'm not getting impossible coined. And if you know SM64, you'll probably say if you white out in a cap level, you don't actually die. But trust me, for the Iron Mario challenge, you will. Just to clarify that. Anyway, after that, Metal Cap isn't really hard or anything, just don't get shot by a Snuffit. We slowly approach the end, and would it be a proper game of Mario 64 if we didn't play Rainbow right? Of course it's not, so there we go. Anyway, with the high ground I got, I decided to scan the stage, checking for the open stars, and spotted one on the big house, one around the beginning, and one next to the triangles, which I decided to get first. I then actually spawned on the big house, which I already gave up on to be honest, but much appreciated spawn, thank you for that. The other open star that's left is well right next to me, but I missed it a few times before realizing it was there the whole time. Seriously though, what was I doing, dude? And the last star I got here was the easiest to access. Reason why I'm not going for the box star is that I couldn't find the green demon earlier, so I didn't want to risk anything. Plus I'm just missing 3 stars anyway, so that shouldn't cause any more troubles. And with that, I'm just having 3 checks left, being Big Boo's Haunt, Shifting Sandland, and Tiny Huge Island. Personally, I was hoping for Shifting Sandland, because there are more stars that can be obtained quickly. But Tiny Huge Island wouldn't have been too bad either. Biggest concern here was getting Big Boo's Haunt. But I actually ended up getting Shifting Sandland. But looking back, I can say I got trolled really hard. Maybe I also skill issued a little bit, but that's not the point. Either way, after the bird star, I still had 2 left. Next, I wanted to go inside the pyramid and saw one pokey. Little did I know, there were 2 of them. I almost ran right into them and also paused because I was convinced it was all over. But this attempt just didn't want to end. Inside the pyramid, I just wanted to get the open star, so I didn't bother about anything else. Maybe it didn't have a fortunate spawn, but I made it work. And now, it's just the last star left, which I already saw was the open star in the Tox box area, where I also spawned again. But I then realized quickly, gosh, that star is way higher up than I expected. In fact, it might be too risky to go for it, since you can't really rely on the Tox boxes, because they often end up squishing you for no reason, if you interact with them at least. But believe it or not, this tornado right here ended up saving me. I knew I could make it work with this fella. First, I didn't got enough air, but with the second go, it worked. What a crazy way to obtain the last star. But with 70 stars gathered within just 55 minutes, I can make my way over to the final Bowser. And you need to know, my initial goal was to get sub 1 hour, which we have a good pace for that right here, seeing we still have almost 5 minutes left for that. Anyway, I'm using pauses here sometimes, just to ensure I'm not getting trolled by a Chakia or Fire Spitter, so I can look up ahead and see if there is a Chakia up ahead. So I need to be more careful, or if I can just run. Or this Fire Spitter right here, also placed quite evil, like right around the corner. I wasn't able to see it, but luckily it was more to the side, so nothing to worry about here. I also was scared, which you can see right there, because I wasn't diving or anything. I was scared that Chakia could grab me in case if I don't know what could happen, honestly. But here is the final Bowser fight. And yeah, I took it really safe here. The first throw, you can see, that's good. But I decided to not go for the insta regrab, because yeah, I didn't want to lose it here in the Bowser fight. I can explain why this didn't hit the bomb, why he didn't have enough power for that throw. Also, this ground pound, a little unfortunate, which makes me not being able to hit that third throw instantly, so I need to get Bowser closer to the edge first. But with that, it will be enough. And I won't miss a Bowser throw ever. There we go. Also, if you want to see the full game run without commentary, check out the description below. I will give you the whole 57 gauntlet if you want to give it a look. So yeah, with that we have a 57 flat time. I mean, it's whatever. I would have liked to see a 56 or sub 57 there, but that's also funny having 57 and 0 seconds. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this. Amazing! And this was my story of the Iron Mario Challenge, which seriously is a lot of fun and grants the game a whole new touch. So, is it really done now? Well, not really. Even though I've been able to complete the original Iron Mario Challenge, there is plenty more stuff to do. See, there also is a hardcore Iron Mario Challenge, adding a lot more chaos and difficulty to the challenge, which will be my next goal to complete. And if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe in order to get notified when I attempt this, since I will be streaming my journey of hardcore Iron Mario over here on YouTube and Twitch. Maybe I'm even streaming right now. Check it out and catch you on stream. Thank you so much. See ya!